So I know you guys are just in the infancy phase, but it's important to start thinking like a business owner and transition from just PT and start being like a CEO. So I have a concept of the seven drivers or seven processes that drive business. And these, from a macro level, you can use these just to track your business and your stats. As you go into more courses like the business essential course, I'll give you a scorecard that kind of goes over all the stuff of how to assess your business stats. And as we go over the profit course, there's more advanced stuff. But for now, you're just opening up your clinic. I wanted to share this with you as kind of like a bonus to get you start thinking like a CEO and a business owner a little bit and get out of the PT mold. So again, this goes back to the simple cash-based system. Marketing produces leads. Leads turn into evals through the phone call process. Evals turn into new patients with the eval sales process. Simple system ready to go. So, this will kind of highlight, what is the process, who's responsible for this, and what's the KPI, which is the key performance indicator. What stat are you going to use to be able to measure this? You could have a list of so many stats, but what you want to do is just pick one or two stats of how you're going to actually measure this. So lead gen, which is marketing, okay, the CMO is, or the chief marketing officer, which your name is going to be on all of these things because you're a solopreneur and you're in the infancy phase. But as you start to grow your business, you'll hire other people. And if your business gets big enough, you'll have people be the chief sales officer or the CFO and stuff like that. But this is how, and this goes back to an org chart that we'll go over in some of the advanced training. But for now, the chief marketing officer, is in charge of that. And that's you right now. You have to design your own marketing strategy and how to generate leads. The two stats that I like to, or KPI that I like to measure is the number of leads per month and the cost per lead. Okay. Or and there's a difference between the cost per lead versus cost per eval versus their customer acquisition costs. Okay. But, with my marketing stuff, I like to look at the number of leads produced and what is my cost per actual lead. And then you can go advanced stuff into your customer acquisition costs. What does that cost just to get a new patient and stuff like that. So this is my first stat that drives business. Next is your phone call conversion rate. CS for me, that's our concierge specialist. She works the front desk, she manages the phone, and it's her stat, which is her percent conversion. If 10 leads call, how many actually book? Okay. Most people, if you have no sales process and no training, you can convert 2 out of 10. But as you learn our phone call strategies and what to say, can you convert 5 out of 10? Can you convert 6 or 7 out of 10? When I was starting out and I learned about sales in the phone call process, when I was starting out, I could get 70 to 80% converted. Now, things will change as the business grows, but the next important stat is conversion rate, because if you are horrible with the phone and you can't convert people and you can't get over the insurance question or the objections, then your phone call conversion rate is going to be like 0 or 1, and then you really have to fix that problem in order for evals to start coming in. So then the third step is going to be the eval conversion rate. That's up to the physiotherapist to do. Is like, out of 10 evals coming in, what percentage actually convert to a paying patient? Most of the time we average between 80 to 90% conversion rate. But then what you'll start noticing is that external leads, tend to convert a little bit less. Word of mouth referrals and hot leads end up converting more, but you have to have a system and process in place with your evaluation process to get those patients wanting and willing to pay cash for that. Another important stat, starting off, you're just starting off as a physiotherapy practice, but one of the problems in medicine is that what do you do after you fix someone? Surgeons have the same problem. You have to, a lot of other businesses have the same problem. And you just start thinking outside of the box, outside of PT, of what are other ways that you can generate revenue and sales in your business. For now, just doing PT sales is going to be your number one. And that's revenue per month. That's the number one thing. But then you can think about selling products, doing medical fitness sales, etc., adding other services on that you could generate more revenue and sales with. But for now, just starting out, your number one thing with Pursuit revenue is going to be PT sales, and that's the revenue per month. Okay. Another thing is looking at capacity. Now, like a perfect example is I have three rooms here, and you have to step back and be like, what is max capacity in each one of these rooms? Okay. We average $170 a visit, just say, and our full schedule is 7 patients a day. So if you do the math, each room has a full capacity of $23,800. Okay. So having 3 rooms, you can see what my total max capacity is per month. I think it's like 70 something off the top of my head. I don't have that. But what is given your numbers and your fee schedule and your schedule overall, what is your clinic capacity, which is probably a single room starting out? What is that number? What is your full capacity? And it's not just the number of patients. Add a dollar sign to that and money to that. So your percent capacity or your total capacity, it should be a dollar sign, not a number of a percentage. Oh, we have a total of 140 visits and we're at 112 visits. Try to think of capacity also as kind of revenue too. That's how I do things. Again, we're going to get into this stuff in like the business essential course and some of the other courses going forward. Right now, just think about your capacity. What does a full schedule look like? And how much sales is that? And how many patients a day is that? So that's another stat I like to look at. Customer satisfaction is number 6. Again, I don't like doing surveys and doing all that stuff. It's just going to get old. So we look at customer satisfaction as word of mouth referrals and testimonials. That's how we measure customer satisfaction. And then the last one's going to be Pursuit expenses. The chief operating officer does this, and we just look at total expenses per month. And then what is the cost per visit this? And then you can calculate those things. And that's the 7 drivers of business.